Do you remember the feeling of walking through those automatic doors into a cavernous warehouse filled with toys? For millions of kids in the 1980s and 1990s, Toys R Us wasn't just a store. It was a playground of imagination. The jingle, "I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid," still echoes in our heads, and Geoffrey the Giraffe felt like an old friend. Rows of action figures, Barbie dream houses, and video game kiosks promised hours of fun, and the ritual of picking out a birthday present or Christmas wish was a childhood rite of passage. Yet this beloved toy kingdom, once the world's largest toy retailer, filed for bankruptcy in 2017 and shuttered its US stores the following year. How did a brand so deeply embedded in pop culture lose its magic? Was it the rise of e-commerce, an avalanche of debt, or simply a failure to evolve? In today's Relic Rewinds episode, we'll rewind through the rise of Toys R Us, relive its glory days, unravel the missteps that led to its downfall, and explore the lessons we can learn from this cautionary tale. But first, let's go back to where it all began. The story of Toys R Us begins in post-war Washington, D.C. In 1948, 25-year-old Charles Lazarus returned from World War II and started selling baby furniture in his father's bicycle shop. Sensing the post-war baby boom, he launched a baby furniture and toy supermarket in 1952. Customers kept asking for toys. So in 1957, he opened his first discount toy supermarket in Rockville, Maryland, and christened it Toys R Us. Lazarus even designed the iconic backward R to make the brand look childlike. Lazarus sold his early stores to Interstate Department Stores in 1966, but continued to run the toy business. When Interstate went bankrupt in 1974, Toys R Us emerged as its crown jewel. By then, the chain had 51 stores and had pioneered computerized inventory systems. The company reorganized under the name Toys R Us, Inc. in 1978 and went public. As children of the 1980s know, the chain became known for its cavernous layouts and warehouse-style displays that offered everything from action figures to bicycles. During the boom years, the company diversified. In 1983, it introduced Kids R Us clothing stores and surpassed $1 billion in sales. It opened its first international stores in Canada and Singapore in 1984, and in 1996 it launched Babies R Us. By the late 1990s, there were more than 681 Toys R Us toy stores in the United States, 183 Babies R Us stores, and 146 Kids R Us outlets, plus hundreds more abroad. The company's annual sales reached over $11 billion, and its workforce numbered around 65,000. Those early decades were marked by bold expansion and a keen understanding of kids' desires. Lazarus's pricing strategy, offering popular toys at minimal profit to attract families, drove huge volumes. The store's endless aisles were a treasure hunt for young shoppers, and parents appreciated the one-stop convenience. By the turn of the millennium, Toys R Us seemed invincible. At its peak, Toys R Us was more than a retailer. It was a cultural landmark. In the 1980s and 1990s, its bright blue and yellow signage could be found near every suburban mall, and the phrase "Toys R Us Kid" entered everyday vocabulary. The chain embraced the category killer strategy, dominating one product category with unmatched selection and low prices. Children could wander seemingly endless aisles of action figures, board games, dolls, and video games, while parents stocked up on bikes or baby gear. The company didn't just sell toys, it created experiences. Flagship stores, such as the 110,000-square-foot Times Square location, opened in 2001, featured a life-size Ferris wheel, a 20-foot animatronic T-Rex, and a 2-story Barbie house. In-store events like midnight product launches and toy demonstrations turned shopping trips into outings. The company's advertising, with its catchy jingle and Geoffrey the Giraffe mascot, reinforced the idea that Toys R Us was a magical place where kids ruled. Through the 1990s, the brand expanded internationally and cemented itself in pop culture. Kids pleaded with their parents for trips to the store, clutching well-thumbed catalogs and holiday wish lists. For many, a birthday meant clutching a gift card and running down aisles to choose the perfect toy. This dominance seemed unshakable. But as the new millennium dawned, storm clouds were forming. So what happened to this beloved toy kingdom? The seeds of decline were sown in the late 1990s. Competition intensified as big box retailers like Walmart and Target began stocking toys at lower prices, and Amazon's e-commerce model emerged. In 1999, Walmart surpassed Toys R Us as the largest U.S. toy seller. Toys R Us attempted to join the internet boom by partnering with Amazon in 2000. Under the deal, Amazon would run the website while Toys R Us managed inventory. However, Amazon violated exclusivity by selling competitor products, prompting Toys R Us to sue and sever the partnership, wasting precious time and leaving the company without a robust online presence. The real trouble began in 2005 when private equity firms Bain Capital, KKR, and Vornado Realty Trust took Toys R Us private in a $6.6 billion leveraged buyout. The deal added roughly $5 billion in debt to the company's books, requiring annual interest payments of around $450 million. Servicing this debt left little capital to remodel stores, invest in e-commerce, or improve customer experience. Competitors, meanwhile, were innovating. Walmart and Target used toys as loss leaders to drive store traffic, while Amazon focused on convenience and fast shipping. Specialty competitors like American Girl built interactive retail experiences that made visits feel special. Toys R Us tried to fight back. In the mid-2000s, it remodeled stores with interactive toy labs, combined toy and baby merchandise into hybrid locations, and secured exclusive products. It also launched Mission Possible prototypes and attempted to open mini-stores inside supermarkets. But the improvements were incremental, and the company's scale made change slow. Management turnover added instability. By the 2010s, the landscape had changed dramatically. Kids were shifting from action figures to iPads and video games. The company's reliance on holiday sales made revenue volatile. Its website lagged behind competitors, and many stores felt dated and cluttered. Customer complaints about unkept floors and poor service multiplied. Meanwhile, the heavy debt load limited marketing and store upgrades. In 2017, Toys R Us hired restructuring advisors as a $400 million debt payment loomed. When news of potential bankruptcy leaked, nearly 40% of suppliers refused to ship without cash upfront. With inventory shortages threatening the crucial holiday season, the company filed for Chapter 11 protection in September 2017 to restructure roughly $5 billion in debt. The move came too late. Vendors tightened credit lines, shoppers flocked to competitors offering better prices and convenience, and the company burned cash. Plans to reorganize and keep 200 profitable stores open collapsed when no buyer emerged. Liquidation sales began in March 2018, and by June, the once mighty chain closed all its U.S. stores. Fairfax Financial bought the Canadian division, and international operations in Asia and Europe continued under separate entities. In the U.S., 2 small concept stores opened in 2019, but pandemic-induced losses forced them to close again in early 2021. The Toys R Us story illustrates how crushing debt, a failure to adapt to e-commerce and customer experience trends, and a complacent belief that dominance would last forever can topple even the largest players. The lesson is clear. In retail, nostalgia isn't enough. Companies must evolve with their customers or risk becoming relics. Although Toys R Us fell, its legacy endures. For many of us, the brand evokes the thrill of running through toy aisles and watching Saturday morning cartoons filled with Geoffrey commercials. The company still exists as a brand, licensed and owned by True Kids and controlled by brand management firm WHP Global. After emerging from bankruptcy, Toys R Us began a comeback through partnerships. In 2021, WHP and Macy's announced they would open over 400 Toys R Us shop-in-shops across the US. And by 2024, there were around 452 mini-stores operating inside Macy's locations. A new flagship store opened at the American Dream Mall in New Jersey in 2021, followed by an 11,000-square-foot flagship at the Mall of America in Minnesota in March 2024. These new stores emphasize interactive experiences, including photo ops with Geoffrey, product demonstrations, and even plans for ice cream parlors. Today, Toys R Us is a living memory and a cautionary tale. Its rise reminds us that understanding customers' dreams can build empires. Its fall shows that even beloved brands must adapt to technology and changing tastes. Did you ever sprint down those aisles searching for the last Power Rangers figure or beg your parents for a Super Nintendo? Share your Toys R Us memories in the comments. We'd love to hear them. And don't forget to subscribe for more journeys back to the brands and technologies that shaped our childhoods. See you next time on Relic Rewinds.